Welcome back to Smarter Markets at IETA's North America Climate Summit 2024. I'm joined by Alex Saer, CEO of Cercarbono. Thanks for coming, Alex.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
You're very welcome. I was kind of asking many of our guests, there's many conferences you can attend. What brings you to the North America Climate Summit this year?
So, it's always pretty important to get to meet all the actors and all the stakeholders from the ecosystem. And one of the main things about being here in this week is that there are many other events happening around. So you can combine many things and many interests on that things. I think like the carbon market is really well established, but there is always the interest of many other stakeholders coming to New York to the Climate Week, and you can find them here at the IETA conference as well. So sometimes you see the same faces in other places, but here in New York, since there are other people that is also coming, other companies that are interested, that makes it really exciting to get to know other actors that are interested in the market.
Right. And can you tell us a little bit about Cercarbono and what you want people around the conference and around Climate Week to know about you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Cercarbono is a carbon standard, the first and the main carbon standard that came from Latin America. Right now, Cercarbono has like a globalization efforts right now. We have presence in more than 15 countries. Most of them from Latin America, but we also have projects in Africa, in Asia, and also in Europe, like in 15 countries. And for example, we have been growing a lot in the last years, giving all the work we have been doing on the technical capacities of the team, all the changes that we have been doing in all our standard protocol procedures, strengthening the whole certification process, and that has given us like an exponential increase on the issuances we have on the last years. And for example, in 2023, I think we were the third standard in terms of issuances, and right now we account for more than 100 million credits that has been issued so far from Cercarbono. So that's in a nutshell what Cercarbono does. We have 4 main methodologies. 30% of our projects comes from REDD+, another 30% from afforestation and reforestation, and another 30% from renewable energy. And 10% of different type of methodologies and projects that we have been working on.
And why do you think it was important to have a standards organization coming out of Latin America?
That's a really good question, because you don't often see standards, in fact, from the developing world. No, you always see standards from Europe, from US, and from other countries that are really wealthy countries, but since we come from Latin America, that makes us pretty different. You may know that Latin America has a really big potential and has many projects ongoing, nature-based projects. So we are a standard that we are in the field. We really know what these projects are on the field. We really understand the context of the people, of the local communities, of the project developers that are working on the field. And we know also the hurdles and the bottlenecks that the project developers suffer when they try to get their project done. So as Cercarbono, we have like a pretty distinctive approach. We work pretty closely with, or we have close communication with project developers and BBBs during the certification process. We have like a really personal interaction with those, with them, in order to get the process more smoothly and get many touching points during the certification process. You don't feel, or project developers doesn't feel, that they are sending the projects to a black box. They feel that there is someone who's leading the process. As Latin American, we really put a lot of attention on personal interaction. So you will find out in Cercarbono that someone is really leading the projects that are being certified under Cercarbono.
And if you were to compare what you're doing to, say, what some of the other registries are doing, are there differences in the methodologies themselves, or is it more in how you apply the methodology to the project before issuing the credits?
Yeah, in fact, our main methodology, which is the Red Plus methodology, was developed by people who was in the field in Latin America, who has been working a lot on the restoration side, on the conservation side, who has been involved in many of these activities. So it's a pretty solid methodology. We innovated in the fact that our methodology used the national reference levels from the countries. So you have an official baseline that you have to compare with in order to calculate the credits that you have been saving by reducing deforestation. And also, with our approach in this methodology, there are a combination of activities that you can apply under the same project that was also pretty innovative at that time. As a standard, we also innovate in many tools. For example, we were the first standard to implement an SDG tool among the other standards. And that means that you can disclose to which SDGs you are contributing to under your project, and that is being validated and verified by the BBBs. So that's also a really important tool that we have improved, or we have developed. We are right now working in another tool in order to, we call it like the transparency, financial transparency tool, in order to get the project developers disclose how the benefits from the projects are being distributed into the communities and local communities and indigenous people that are being involved in the projects. So that will give a lot of transparency to the market, will give a lot of quality to the projects, which will translate into more integrity. So yeah, that we have our own approach on some of these methodologies.
And certainly, ensuring that credits have quality and integrity, it's been a big focus and a big challenge, I would say, over the past year or two in the voluntary markets. Where do you see the opportunities and challenges right now in having standards that kind of get that consensus and perception and reality of quality?
So yeah, everyone knows that the market has been suffering from some negative news, but I think there are some. Most of the projects are really good quality projects. We have been constantly working, and I'm sure not only Cercarbono, but all the standard has been constantly working in order to build more integrity into the whole process. And I think this is a continuous improvement that you have to do it in order, because the quality changes over time. What it was good 5 years ago, it may be not good right now. So some things that are at that time were developed at that time were pretty innovative, everyone accepted, but right now no. And that's a consequence of the evolution of the market and the increases expectations that the client has into the markets. And that's a good sense. We need to continue improving. For example, in our case, last June, we launched our insurance, we launched our first project that was certified by Cercarbono that had its credits insured by a warranty and indemnity insurance. It was the first Afolu project worldwide to have their credits insured by Howden, which is a pretty important broker from the UK. And that's the kind of solutions that we need to bring to the market. We were working hand by hand with Howden, with Mere Plantation, which is the owner, with Alcohol, which is the project developer, in order to get this insurance done. And Howden did a whole due diligence on the certification process to analyze the risks of that project. And they considered that the risks were sufficient in order to be able to insure those credits. And Mere had a double the benefit. The first one is the confidence of the buyers on those credits, but the other benefit is the price gap premium that they got from those credits. So I think that's the kind of solutions we need to deliver into the market, really specific solutions which could be applicable, and could provide some confidence to the buyers who makes a really difficult decisions and get confronted into difficult decisions on where to buy their credits and what type of credit should they buy.
Right. And as you look forward to the next year, what's next for you at Cercarbono? What are you focused on? What's the next big project?
We have been working really hard on improving and strengthening the whole standard to make it a global standard. We have been updating our protocol, our procedures, our methodologies. Due to that process, we were able to be endorsed by ICROA last year. We were also conditionally approved by CORSIA last year. So in the short term, we expect to be fully approved by CORSIA at the end of this year. I'm pretty optimistic about that. We also applied to ICBCM this month, just the beginning of this month. So we expect also to be ICBCM approved in the next following month. And that's completes the circle of this first circle of continuous improvement, like getting CORSIA and getting ICBCM. The next phase of Cercarbono is to apply into the methodology track under ICBCM. So we are updating 4 methodologies: RED+, AR, renewable energy, and waste management, in order them to put it into ICBCM approval. And that's our purpose next year. We are working in new methodologies developments. There is a methodology in blue carbon that is on track. Right now, it's being developed by a third party and presented to Cercarbono. We are developing some methodologies for the oil and gas sector, capping oil from wells, for example. We are also expecting to incorporate a methodology from cookstuff, clean cookstuff as well. So we are going to expand on our methodology side as well. And we want to consolidate our presence in some specific regions and countries. There are some countries that are implementing some carbon tax mechanisms, as Mexico, as Chile, as Egypt. So we want to, enter into this market. We think like having the experience of working in the Colombian carbon tax give us all the credits or all the credibility to also support all this process that these countries are doing, and we can even support them in making decisions towards consolidating these kind of markets. So that's another piece of our strategic plan. And lastly, we are working in an Article 6 framework in which there are two top negotiators of Article 6 that are helping us building this framework. We want also to implement all the procedures in Cercarbono in order to participate in Article 6 transactions. So that's in the short and medium term our perspective for the next years.
Congratulations and good luck, and thanks for taking some time to sit down with us.
Thank you very much, and really good job that communicating to everyone, because I think it's a really big part. The carbon market is it's a small group, and what we have seen in many countries is that we need to communicate more and to build capacity in order to other industry and players to understand what are carbon markets, what is happening in the carbon markets, in order to expand, the impact that we are doing in the decarbonization efforts.
Completely agree.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.